This is the Retirement Lifestyle Podcast with Chris and Susan Beasley.
Hi, it's Chris and Susan Beasley coming to you from beautiful southern Spain, Costa del Sol. As you can see, it's beautiful blue sky, and this is a reintroduction to our podcast, Living the Retirement Lifestyle, our new season, because we are now living in Spain and things are very different today than when we first started our podcast. So we want to share with you some of our tips and strategies, introduce you to friends and mentors that we have met and worked with over the years, all of whom will be able to help you to achieve a better life after 50. And we're going to be sharing with you our 5 pillars for life over 50. But for those of you who don't know us, let us give you a little bit of an introduction, because we've actually been 15 years online now, 15 years building an online business. But life wasn't quite as easy as it is today back then. So let us tell you about that.
So go back 15 years. 15 years we were accountants and management consultants. We'd been doing that for probably best part of 20 odd years. And so, yeah, we've been working together for nearly 35 years.
And we're still married.
Yeah, we're still married. And, you know, people often say, how do you do it? Well, I've no idea, but for us it works, so which is fantastic. So 15 years ago we were accountants and management consultants, and you know, we had a great business, to be perfectly honest. We had good clients. We worked in the veterinary sector, so we worked with veterinary practices, helping them develop and grow their business. That's what we did. We had a good income, a good lifestyle, but the problem was it was all time for money, and we were always at the beck and call of our clients. Whatever they wanted us to do, we would do it, and it didn't matter what day of the week or whatever. Even when we were on the ski slope, you know, these things that we're recording on now, these mobile phones, you know,
they were the worst of the best things in our lives, weren't they?
So things had to change. But the thing is, as you get a bit older, you get to your 50s, and then we got to our mid 50s, and you start to think about retirement. Retirement is on the horizon, you know, it's just over there. And you think, oh, well, maybe, okay, we better start to look at this and think about it seriously. And of course, the first thing you're told that you have to look at is your finances. And so we looked at our finances, and having been self-employed for many, many years, and, you know, both divorced, blended family of 5 kids, all of whom grew up and wanted to go to university and all that stuff.
Yes, they do.
You know, it was expensive. So putting money into a pension pot just really didn't happen for us. But we got to 2005, and everybody was saying you should invest in property. So we thought, right, okay, we're going to learn how to do that. That's what we'll do, and that will build our pension pot. And so that's exactly what we did. And for 3 years, it was absolutely amazing. You know, we were building a good solid pot, expecting a good residual income. But 2008 came along, and of course the worldwide crash, and, you know, we lost a big chunk of our property portfolio. So our pension pot all of a sudden wasn't going to give us the lovely pension that it was supposed to, the generous pension that it was supposed to give us. And so we thought, right, okay, we've got to find another way. And so we were just continuing life as normal. And one of the things we were looking for was online education for our clients, so we could help them take their businesses online, because it was all of a sudden becoming more important. We found a product which we thought, this will work for us. It was a good program, and we bought the program. And then just out of the corner of our eye, we discovered that we could build a business online with it. And we thought, wow, this could be where we want to be, where we need to go to rebuild that retirement fund. But of course, life got in the way, and we carried on as usual, and it all sat on the shelf for about 9 months. And then, as I said earlier, you know, we're always at the beck and call of our clients. And one of our larger clients said to us one day, That computer system we've been working with for the last, you've been working on for us with for the last 18 months. We've decided that instead of installing it in June, we want to install it in January. And so all of a sudden, plans that we'd got, in actual fact, a skiing holiday over New Year and Christmas, had to go out the window. And for us, that turned into, we've got to change. We've got to do something different. We can't do this for the rest of our lives. Because had we listened to our friends and family at the time who said, when we said we're going to go and build a business online, they go, oh no, just carry on doing what you're thinking.
You crazy people.
Yeah, everything will be all right. Which of course, it wouldn't have been all right. Because we'd have still been in the UK, we'd have still been at the beck and call of our clients, or we'd been retired, if you like, with no money. And that wasn't a thing for us. So we started this online business. But we didn't do it on our own.
No, we were really fortunate that the gentleman that we bought the program for our clients, remember, actually was accessible. We could actually reach out to him, which we did. And we're talking 15 odd years ago. So it was actually possible to talk to a person. It wasn't all totally done through all these apps and goodness knows what that we have today. And he said, well, would you like to come and meet me? And we'll sit and talk through what it is that you're looking for. And let me see if I can help you to achieve that. So long story short, we actually met him at his gym. That's another story for another day. And I'm sure we'll share it at some point. But it was a turning point for us because he was able to guide us in our way forward and show us what we needed to do. And that's exactly what we did. And that has been instilled in us forever and ever because we know the value of having someone to mentor and guide you in your business because we've had it ourselves. And in fact, we've just come off a mentoring call from someone we work with who actually helps us because we think that's really important in our development too.
We still have a mentor.
It's super important. But here we are, 15 years forward. We've had a pretty amazing run in the online world. We still are doing it because we love it. But what we've adapted over that period of time is what we call our 5 pillars of life over 50, which I mentioned at the beginning of this podcast. And we want to share those with you, and we'll go into them in more detail over the coming weeks because things have changed. Doing things the old way really and truly are a recipe for disaster as far as your retirement is concerned, your later life. We're living so much longer. We need to be financially secure and we need to be healthy. So we're going to go through our 5 with you. And if you've got any messages or comments to leave for us after this, do leave them because we'll come back and answer them for you. So I will leave it to you.
So number 1 is financial security, not financial stress. So what do we mean by that? Well, you need to be in a financial situation where you can do the things that you want to do when you want to do them. You need to have the money to have the choices. And if you look at the old way, it was Susan mentioned, it's all about putting money into a pension pot and saving and investing and all that. And if investments are volatile like they are today, then you might struggle. But if you build an online business that we have financial security because we've built a residual income that comes in, but it's totally under our control. And that's the important thing. So first one, financial security, not financial stress. The second one, be healthy, both physically and mentally. You've got to keep this going. You've got to keep the old brain whirring. And that's exactly why we have our online business and we're still doing it 15 years later.
New stuff.
Because not only are we learning new stuff and implementing new stuff, but it gives us a reason to get up in the morning. We don't get up at 6 or 7 o'clock anymore. It's more like 10 o'clock, but that's beside the point. The thing is is that we keep ourselves mentally active, have a reason to get up in the morning, and of course we like to maintain our physical health as well, so we eat well, which is even better now we're living out here, because a lot more fresh fruit and vegetables. And we also, behind this camera, which you can't see, we have our little gym, weights and mats and things.
Because you don't have to do a great deal of stuff, you just do what's good for you.
So that's what we do, and we walk, of course. Number 3 is to travel and have life experiences. And that for us is one of the things we've always wanted to do. We've always loved to travel. We've always liked to have experiences. And, to be honest, we've probably done more since we were 60 than we've done in the whole of the previous 60 years. We've jumped off mountains with parachutes. We've ridden along a beach in Costa Rica at sunset. We've done all sorts
of lining. Oh my goodness,
yeah,
climbing a rock wall.
But we've done all that stuff, and we will continue to do all that stuff because it keeps you active and gives you something to look forward to. Something for next week or next month or next year.
Oh, yeah, kayaking. Did I mention that?
Yeah, kayaking, in the mangrove swamp.
You know what we're going to do next week, Chris?
Yeah, that'll be fun. So number 4 is look good and feel good about ourselves, but not only ourselves, our future as well. So we're sitting here and we're looking forward to, life to come, because it's going to be amazing, because we've made sure that it's going to be amazing, and we know exactly what to do and how we can help you too. So, and that brings us to number 5, which is help others achieve the same. Now, the only thing that will stop you is your own mind, your own mindset. Just like it nearly did for us 15 years ago. You have to be open-minded and prepared to look at things that maybe are outside your comfort zone, maybe different, and not listen to the people, your friends and family, just like ours said, you must be mad, carry on as usual, things will be all right, but of course they never will be. You have to understand that you have to believe in you, not what other people tell you.
But here's what I want to ask you before we close out this very first podcast of our first season here in Spain in 2025. It's, have you ever said to yourself, when I retire, I'd like to? Well, that's the question I'm going to ask you right now, because that will be the thing that will trigger what you do next. Because
very true.
That goal, that thought, that dream, whatever it is, will be the guiding light for you to say, yep, I want that. Chris and Susan, show me how I can do it. So I'll leave you with that, because we would love to show you how to do it. So I'd love you to follow along as we record these podcasts for you.
More episodes,
1 a week, sharing tips, strategies about building a business and a life online, how to, as we say, work a little, live a lot, see some of our friends and mentors and coaches who have achieved that kind of life through their online business activities, and give you some clues about how it could be for you. So we will thank you very much for watching
and
this
listening.
Very first of our podcast, and for listening, of course. And we will see you on the very next one. Any questions, drop us a line, send us a message, and we will make sure to answer it for you. So over and out from a very hot and sticky Spain as we go for our, shall we say, physical exercise, our walk on the beach. Take care. See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You're listening to the Retirement Lifestyle Podcast with Chris and Susan Beasley.